Hello everyone, my name is Emilia, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm gonna explain why Heated Rivalry is one of the best TV shows that has ever been created in the world. This is my current obsession. I'm in love with this show. I watch it like 100, 200, 300 times. I'm in love with the characters, with the actors, with the way they played, with every single detail of this show. And today I'm gonna explain why this show is such a huge success and why is this one of the best or maybe the best TV show ever made in history of television. Let's get started. But first, let's take a second to appreciate the makeup I did for this video. It's kind of obvious what I was going for. I know it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty damn close. It's just so fucking beautiful. Look at the sparkles, look at the rainbow. I'm obsessed. I'm in love. I actually don't know how I'm gonna wash this out. First of all, it's gonna be hard since the eyeshadows are quite pigmented, but also I feel so sad that I have to wash it off. I wish I could wear this forever. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna add some close-up pictures so you can appreciate it fully. Alright, let's get started. So I kind of decided to rewatch it one more time and record the time codes, the scenes, the episodes where I saw that it was geniusly filmed, and explain why I think that is. So that's why I'm sometimes gonna look on my phone for some notes, and I decided to make a little bit of a logical structure here, not just telling me 30 minutes how in love I am with the show. So let's try to go episode by episode. So firstly, I want to say a couple of words why I think that shows like this are really important, and I want to say why I think that this is the best possible representation and also why this is such a huge success. First of all, I would say they really captured the essence of Russia. Myself, I actually speak Russian. I've been there a couple times. I'm not from Russia, but I've been there a couple times, and I think the way they captured the atmosphere and I would say the most dismal, the most I don't know, dark and depressing vibe that they have in post-Soviet Union countries, including Russia, they made it geniusly. I don't know if you know this, but currently in Russia there is a law called prohibition of LGBTQIA plus propaganda. There is a law when you speak something publicly about LGBTQA plus community, or you support them publicly, or you create some sort of fundraisers or something that supports the community, you actually can go in jail for that, in actual jail, for just saying the words, not even for doing anything. If you, for example, created a song, or maybe you created a movie or something, and by the way, they're going to or maybe they already did, they banned Heated Rivalry in Russia. I'm gonna die. This is so stupid. I mean, this government is so repressive, and their laws are just insane, and that's why the way they captured it, and they tried to capture that in the way that Ilia said in the, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the 5th episode, to Shane, that if he would came out as publicly gay person, he would never be able to go home to Russia. And for some people, maybe it sounds crazy, and they think that they're for example, his family won't accept them or something. But no, actually, in modern Russia in 2026, if there was an actual hockey player whose name was Ilia, and he had a Russian citizenship, he would literally go in prison for that. If he publicly, I would say, if publicly he would have supported the LGBTQ community, he would actually could go in prison for that. And there are actually people in Russia who are sitting in a prison right now because there is a law against the propaganda of LGBTQ community, which is fucking insane. But yeah, that's what it is. And I think that's really nice the way they captured, the way the authors and directors and producers captured how sad it is. And even though his home is absolute fucking hell on earth, he still feels sad because his home is not going to accept him for who he actually is. He could never be himself in his home. And for Shane, that's also a great scene. If I'm not mistaken, that was in first episode on the roof where they were in Vegas, or yeah, like they were like in Texas. And Shane, when Ilia told Shane that he's going back for the summer in Russia or something for the holidays, and Shane was like, that must be nice. Like he was like kind of excited for him, and it was written all over Ilia's face the way he felt about this. Because Shane, he grew up in Canada and he never experienced like this kind of discrimination and this kind of homophobia, or even just like any kind of discrimination at the level that it is in Russia. And this is something that, of course, I want to really appreciate the way Connor's story, the way Hudson Williams acted in this series, because it was like, that was amazing. Like the way he, I would say, expressed the emotions and the way he delivered it, that was like, I'm not even like kidding right now, that is the best acting I have seen in my entire life. And I think that's one of the main reasons that this show is a huge success, because actors are incredibly talented. They're huge, massive talents. The way they express the emotions, the way Connor's story expressed how Ilia felt about his home, about his family, that is typical, by the way, it is typical Soviet Union family. Even it is not like some like crazy ass family that's like 1 in a million or something. No, that's like literally almost every family in Soviet Union. Like they sorry, this is so fucking sad. I don't know why I'm laughing. This is like actually how a typical Soviet Union family looks like. The really abusive father, the brothers. He even like mentioned the fact that they worked in police, and this is actually not a stereotype. As a person who's been in Russia a couple of times, the law enforcement officers there are crazy. They're like homophobic, sexist. Like, of course, I'm not talking about like every law enforcement officer, but like almost all of them. I'm not even kidding when I'm saying that almost every law enforcement officer in post-Soviet Union countries is literally like the brother of Ilia, maybe even worse in some cases, because unfortunately the abuse of power or any kind of abuse there is underreported, and there are like not a lot of laws against, for example, domestic violence or sexual violence, or actually any sort of violence. Yeah, this is incredibly sad. And for the people who know, for the people who have actually visited Russia, this series is even more touching rather than for the people who haven't. If no one's gonna stop me, I'm gonna talk about like 2 hours about the series, because I'm in love. Like, I'm obsessed. I've never seen anything better than that in my entire life. Like, I read almost all of the books. Like in this series, there are more books not only about Shane and Ilia, but I've read the books about Shane and Ilia twice, or even maybe 3 times. I'm crazy. I'm sorry. And I've seen the series for so many times. So if no one is gonna stop me, I'm gonna talk like for an hour or so. But we're gonna try to like put some structure here. So we're gonna go episode by episode. So let's start with the first one. I think one of the best things here is that when you don't know what is the series about, you kind of think that this is gonna be the classical thing that's used in like huge lot of like series, movies, books, TV shows, like the enemies to lovers kind of dynamic. But that's not actually it. That's not what is going to happen there. I mean, spoiler alert, like there are gonna be like trillion, billion spoilers. So if you haven't seen the Heated Rivalry, please go and watch it now. This is the best thing ever. Alright, so this is not a classical enemies to lovers kind of situation. So when they first meet, Shane comes to introduce himself to Ilia. They instantly smile, and the first time they actually get to talk to one another is when they go to the gym. The director like perfectly captured the way that they looked at each other. They were like checking out one another, and it was captured in such a beautiful way. The eyes, the movement of the camera, it was just like the best first meet ever. And also, I would say that the most beautiful part, Ilia was giving Shane his water bottle, and their hands like slightly touched, and the way that the camera like took a second to just focus on it, and the way that they looked at each other, the way that they expressed it with the camera, it was just incredible. So actually, there is no enemies to lovers in movies, in TV shows. This is a great thing. I mean, like a lot of people love it. Even I love it. I watched some series like Max and Ho or something where they have like an enemies to lovers dynamic. But actually, in real life, I think this is such a toxic, like a toxic dynamic. I don't think this is how you should meet the love of your life. If you like actually hate someone, like an actually hate someone, I don't think that you should like, make out with this person. This is no how it should be. That's just a hook to like make you to watch this, because this is something that a lot of people love. But actually, this is love on first sight. Like this is definitely the love on the first sight. They like loved each other from the moment they saw each other. So that's like really, really beautiful. So yeah, that's not enemies to lovers. That's actually love at first sight. And also the most amazing part here is that they used the timeline, because the series takes something like 10 years or maybe like 9 years or something. And like you, after you watch the whole series, you feel like you actually walked a mile in someone else's shoes. Like you truly feel it. Like you feel that a lot of time has passed. Like you actually feel it. And that's amazing the way they showed it. Because sometimes when series or movies especially do something like 10 years later, 1 year later, I don't know, century later, this feels really weird. It's kind of jumpy, but that's not the case. Not the Heated Rivalry's case. That was like a really, really incredible experience. Also, I would say that one of the most touching parts of the series for me was the way they showed Ilia's father. Ilia's father is a typical abusive Soviet Union dad. I mean, I'm not saying all the dads are like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are a lot of people who behave themselves in the similar way as Ilia's dad does. So the moments that I notice is that he says something, you have to apologize to Russia since you lost to Czech Republic. I believe that he talked about the Olympics or something. Yeah, I don't remember, but he lost, not the he, like his team lost to the Czech Republic. His team lost to Czech Republic. His team lost to Czech Republic, and he said something like you have to apologize to Russia that you lost, which is a really, really toxic and I would say really bad thing to say to your own son. But that's actually something that like happened to me in many cases. Yeah, I mean that's something that happens there like for almost every single day. If the kids or for example the coaches also say this kind of stuff, if you did like one mistake, you have to apologize to not make some other people feel bad about it, which is fucking crazy if you think about it. Also, the moment where you can like, I know Russian, and so I didn't need to read the subtitles when I watched it. It was the moment of their draft, and Ilia was talking to Boston's manager, or I don't know, like, how's it called? I'm sorry, I don't watch hockey. Yeah, I'm sorry. And his dad was saying in Russian that listen to him, like he was saying, the manager was saying to Ilya that he's incredibly talented and hardworking, but his dad was saying to the manager that he's lazy, he needs a discipline and stuff, which was like crazy because his son is one of the future best players in the hockey, and he was saying this constantly to like diminish his achievements, which is what a classical abusers do. And about all the arch rivals and stuff, the thing is that they were never enemies, but the media around them always tried to like create this tension. And this is actually like what happens in like a regular sport right now. For example, I love tennis, and for example, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, they're like incredible tennis players, but media always tries to like create the tension between them. However, they're like good friends, which is like they mentioned it like so many times. They have so much respect for one another, but media tries to create the tension. Also in Formula One, I love watching Formula One. They always try to like create some sort of fire. I would say the nuclear explosion. I would say like the word and the actual word. And I think that's really bad. I know that's like the kind of thing that sells the sport for a lot of people, but I think that like creating like a good sense of sportsmanship and respect for each other is a better way to promote a sport. All right, let's talk about intimacy. This is a huge part of the series and of the books, and I wanna just mention how incredible the scenes were directed. The way that the principle of active consent, which is here, was really, really something that is not shown a lot, especially in the classical rom-coms where like the all the abusive stuff is romanticized there, like a stalking. Like imagine the Twilight when the Edward was like literally like stalking Bella. He was like literally watching how she sleeps, which is fucking weird. They show the principle of active consent. The Ilya was making sure that Shane is okay like 2 or 3 times. Every time he changed something, he was always checking in on him, which is really thoughtful, which is incredible and shows how much he cares about Shane. But it's also something that is really important to show on television, because when we see just a normal rom-coms from 2000s or something, we just see, you know, like a man who is like aggressively approaching the woman, and the woman says, no, I don't want to like be engaged in this, and he says, no, girl, you won't, or stop, like stop saying no. Like, I mean, we've all seen it, like there are like millions examples like this, and this is bad, not like for the movie plot, this is bad for actual people who live in actual like world, that they would think that this is how it should be done, and this is not how it should be done. And also the way that they show the contraception, which is also really, really important, something that is often missed in the popular movies and TV shows. And this is something that is really often missed in TV shows, in movies, when they don't show the principle of active consent, and they also don't show like how intimacy could be made and created in a beautiful, loving way. They actually use intimate scenes, how they trust each other and how they love each other. They focus not only on the bodies of the character, but also on their eyes, on their faces, on their expressions, which is something that is not usually shown in romance TV shows. Another thing that I really enjoyed is, like, if we compare Heated Rivalry to a classical rom-com, or maybe just classical like a romance TV show kind of things, bunch of things that we see on Netflix, is that they often have like the same plot. If you were just gonna like take out the characters, the faces, the setting, you're gonna have like the same fucking movie every time. Like, you have the incredible myth, usually where the man approaches women, because these movies are a bit. You see this incredible chemistry. The man approaches a woman, kisses her, blah blah blah. Then they have like a huge fight, and at the end they like dance in slow mo. Oh, like I don't know, some romance song, like some love song. But the thing is that usually the kind of fight they have in the middle of the movie is always fucking stupid. So yeah, that's something that pisses me off so much, that they create like a problem out of thin air, out of nowhere, and they, after that, they magically like solve it, which is so annoying. Like, if you watch it like 100 times over and over, in every movie that you see, you get tired. And Heated Rivalry actually offers something different, because the problems that they have actually seem legit, because they have a childhood trauma. For example, Ilia discovered his mother was, after she committed, and he also admitted that his father acted like really badly towards her mother, and this left such a big impression on him, which was like really, really sad. And you understand why does he have like some trust issues maybe, or why is he afraid, because he was never accepted in his own family, in his own house, and in his own country. And that's why the problems that they have actually seem like real problems, rather than just like some imaginary ones like from the bullshit movies from 2000s. I just realized if I'm gonna talk about every single episode, this is going to take 2 hours. If you want to see me talking about this for 2 hours, like a podcast or something, just let me know. I would like talk about the driver like for 10 years if I could have. So if you want to see like a longer version where I discuss like all of this I would say all of my favorite parts. Please let me know down in the comments below. So, another scene that I think that was geniusly produced was the scene in the nightclub where the lyrics of the song by Tuna, all the things she said, when the words "this is not enough" and they were looking at each other with their girlfriends, and the way they showed with their eyes, with their face expression, how bad and how incredibly depressing was that is freaking genius. It is just fucking genius. I have like goosebumps when I talk about it because it's like an incredible scene. And this is also the moment when Shane realizes that he cannot, like, he cannot convince himself even longer that this is what he wants and that he does not love Ilia. And that's the moment that he realizes that. And that's the moment Ilia also realizes how important Shane is to him. Another incredible moment, the famous tuna melt sandwiches was at their house. That's the moment that Shane realized and he freaked out because he felt something not physical, like the physical sexual attraction between them. He also felt this incredible support, the atmosphere, like the housewives, they hang out, they cook something for each other, the way that they also showed how they care for one another. They remember each other's favorite drinks, favorite meals, and Ilia bought ginger ale for Shane because he loves it, and no one else apparently in Canada loves it, so he bought it for him. He prepared meal for him, and later back in the cottage he also bought some cokes because he knows that Ilia loves it. I'm gonna die. This is so cute. This is so cute. Oh my god. I'm gonna cry. Alright. And also, alright, we have to talk about Cottage. I mean, my heart literally like melted, broke into 1,000 small pieces, like in a good way, not in a bad way. That was the most incredible feeling I felt in like I don't know, my entire life. Oh my god. Alright. No, that's like actually true. The way they captured for Ilia and for Shane, home is not a place, home is a feeling. And they found this feeling in one another. And the way they said, I love you for the first time, that was the most incredible thing I've seen in my entire life. And the way they made this house seem something like a holy grail. They created the feeling of home. And they created this special atmosphere of support and love that they didn't find anywhere else. And the way that their relationship actually accelerated and they actually, like, I would say, and they actually moved to a new level. Also, an incredible thing in the 5th episode is when Shane scores a goal, Ilia gave him pass and Ilia couldn't help himself. He just kissed Shane on the cheek. And the way, this is one of my favorite scenes in this show, the way Ilia looks at Shane. This is like all the memes. I want to find someone who looks at me the same way as Ilia looks at Shane. Not only in this like scene, but generally. He loves him so much. I'm gonna die. Alright. Like, he loves him so much, and that's just so obvious, like, to anyone who would like open their eyes, and that's incredible. That is the most incredible love I have ever seen uh, in the history of TV shows, or maybe even in real life. All right. The Cottage also, I wanna give a huge credit to the scene where Shane actually comes out to his parents. This is one of my favorite lines in the whole show, where after Shane and Ilia came out to Shane's parents, they saw since the rocket, the Yuna asked like, how long has this been going on, and Shane said like, since their rocket season, and she was like so like surprised, and Ilia turned and said, that's not true, like, this is the summer before, not the rocket season, the summer before. And she was like, the summer before. And they later, when Shane came out to his mom, which was an incredible scene, I cried as many times as I seen it. Like, I literally can't hold my tears when I see this. So after that, they all sit at the table, and there's like a little small cute moment where Ilia's dad, oh, not Ilia's, when Shane's dad moves the pot closer to Ilia, because he's enjoying the homemade food so much. And Ilia and Shane, like, he starts to freak out. It looks like a panic attack. And I myself experienced so many panic attacks. I have OCD, I have anxiety. I'm gonna record a video about this. Yeah, yeah, once. I'm gonna definitely make a video about it later. I don't know when, but I'm definitely gonna share this experience with you. And the thing, he was freaking out, and he noticed it right away, and he tried to calm him down. He calmed him down, and he called him a boyfriend for the first time. And Yuna looks at David in such a beautiful way, and she whispers, since the Rocky season. And the dad says, like, the summer before. Oh my god, I literally cried. I cried. I can't. This is too good. What have I done in this life to deserve this? Like, oh my god. Yeah. And the way they show how Ilia supports Shane, when they were just like driving to their house, and he was freaking out because his dad just like saw him kissing Ilia. He doesn't even know he's gay, and he doesn't even know that not only he's gay, but he's also in love with the Ilia Rosanov. And this is like so much information to process at the same time. He was freaking out, and the Ilia hugged him and said that he would definitely go to his parents' house with Shane, because he wanted to support him. And then he hugged him, and then he hugged him and said that he was really, really brave, and that was really cute as well. And Shane was freaking out. He was like touching the buttons on his car, and Ian noticed that, and he put his hand like on his fingers, and that was like really an amazing gesture. And that was like something that I also don't see a lot in TV shows, and I don't see a lot in TV shows or in movies. Yeah, I mean, I could have talked about this series for like an actual ages. So if you wanna like listen to a longer version, I would definitely do it. And because this is my favorite thing on earth right now, I'm actually thinking about getting a tattoo. Yeah, yeah, Yes, girls, I'm obsessed. I'm actually thinking about like getting a tattoo right here. I want to have like a cottage or give me a kiss tattoo, because this series actually healed something in me. And I actually have been in the similar position as Ilia for so many goddamn years of my life, and this touched something in me. This like touched my heart in almost, I would say, this series touched my heart in a way I can't even describe, because I never felt myself this way. I felt understood and I felt appreciated, and yeah, that was an amazing feeling. That is an amazing feeling, since I continue to rewatch it like for 100 times. I read all the books, and at the end I would like to say a huge thank you to the people who made it, to to everyone who is part of the team, and of course to Connor Story and Hudson Williams. If you ever see this, you're the most amazing actors I have seen in my entire life, and you made this show special, and you're the reason that this show is so special. The way they acted in the show is just incredible. They deserve all the Oscars, all the Emmys, all the awards that like exist on planet Earth, because this is the most beautiful, important, mindful, and just incredible series that I have seen in my life. And thank you so much for the directors, for the author of the book, and for everyone who was part of the team to make this a reality. I think this is such an incredible show. This is the best show I have seen in my life, and that was the best start of 2026. This TV show healed me. It gave me so much love and virtual support, and it felt like the community was appreciated, and I felt like I was really appreciated. The communities that needed to be supported were supported, and it just gave me so much hope. That was the most incredible, beautiful, touching love that I have ever seen in my entire life. And I say this from the bottom of my heart, that this is the best thing I have seen in my life. I mean, you kind of could have guessed it, since I want to get a tattoo visit. And I don't have any tattoos. I'm 20 years old. That's my first tattoo. Like, I'm gonna get it, I think, on the next Monday or something. Yeah. But I could have waited for the Monday to record this, since like I needed to share with someone. So please, let's discuss this in the comments. Please share your favorite scenes. Share why you enjoyed the Heated Rivalry. Share what was the most special part about it, and the most importantly, write describe the feeling that you had while you saw it for the first time. Because when I saw it for the first time, I was crying. Thank you so much for watching this video. Watch Heated Rivalry, because this is the best TV show on planet Earth, and I love all of you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!